Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the first of many predictables that we have to do this week. We are here with our AEW All In predictions. I am your host, Josh. As always, joining me is Ruin Wrestling.
Hey guys,
Stu not able to join us today, but we have plenty other podcasts to do for predictions, so maybe he'll be able to join us for one of those. We still have Saturday night's main event, Great American Bash, and Evolution. Because for some reason, both these companies decided to cram every pay per view into this weekend. Um,
specifically WWE.
yeah, no, we're putting the blame on WWE this one. All In was planned from a long time ago. Um, but yeah, WWE has three events this weekend, which is insane. Um, but I've talked about my feelings on uh that before. I'm gonna skip the self promo and I'll just save it for the end, and just gonna get straight into it. So we went over the card just before we hit record, and it's eight total matches that we have here. But knowing AEW, because they don't currently have a buy-in match, they're probably going to add something to it, probably like a tag match. Um, I can imagine them putting someone like Beast Mortos on the buy-in. I can't imagine they have this card without him because they seem to like him.
Well,
Um,
they like Mercedes, so just saying. No, before I get slated, I actually love Beast Molotov, and I totally agree. He would be on the card anyway. It's just kind of funny.
yeah. Um, but yeah, so we were talking. We don't think it's going to be anything too important that they add. Which is why I figured to do the predictions today and get these out as fast as I can. Um, yeah, so let's get straight into it. Let's start off with let's see what we have here. Let's start off with the tag team match. So we have Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay versus the Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. And the stipulation of this match is if the Young Bucks lose, they lose their EVP titles. Kayfabe, obviously, because it would be pretty dumb if they just step down from their EVP position for real. Um, if Swerve and Osprey lose, then they can't challenge for the world title for an entire year. Now, I'm going to take Swerve and Will Osprey on this one because, and for me, it's a tad bit obvious to pick Swerve and Osprey on this one because I can't imagine that AEW has these guys go a full year without challenging for the world title. These are like their main guys right now, or a couple of their main guys that they've been using uh, week after week. And for these two to not be in the world title picture for a whole year would be kind of detrimental to the company in total, to be honest. Um, I brought up the idea that maybe they'll like win the New Japan um heavyweight championship, but Zack Saber just won that, and I don't see him dropping it to Ospreay or Swerve. And Swerve winning the New Japan heavyweight title wouldn't really make sense since he doesn't have those ties. And I think you brought that up too, actually, Rue. Um, about Swerve winning the New Japan title. Um, yeah, I'm going with Swerve and Osprey to win this one. It just wouldn't make sense for the Bucks to win.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I think it was very obvious before they announced the stipulation for Swerve and Osprey. At the same time, at the beginning, it was just if they beat the Bucks, then they'll be stripped of the EVP title, which I was like, well, that's definitely going to happen. The only thing that slightly pushes me a little bit towards they might have Swerve and Osprey lose. I don't think they will. Actually, I'll just say that first. I am going with them to win. I think they'll beat the Bucks here. The only thing that potentially they want to do that would be um, next year. They've already announced All In. It's in a year's time, and it's back at Wembley. Would be potentially if they wanted to have Osprey and finally be able to after a year challenge for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship and win it at Wembley in England. That's the only reason. I think it still doesn't fully make sense, and as you said, I think it'd be detrimental to the two guys and just to the company. We kind of seen that happen with Cody Rhodes. They kind of backed himself into a bit of a corner when they had him not be able to challenge for the title. So yeah, I'm gonna take Hangman and not Hangman. That's the wrong person. I'm gonna take Ospreay and Swerve. I'm gonna take Osprey and Swerve here, but yeah, I mean, a hell of a match is going to be. I'll say that much. Could easily be match of the night.
100%. Yeah, going to be a great match. And yeah, we're in agreement with Swerve and Osprey. Not much else to say about this match. Um, yeah, it just makes sense for Swerve and Osprey to win this. And like you said, if the Bucks end up winning this, AEW is going to back themselves into a huge corner that is going to be extremely difficult to get out of. And uh yeah, it would just leave Osprey and Swerve in a very bad predicament. Um let's move on to the TNT Championship match. We have Adam Cole versus Kyle Fletcher. Now, I have not been enjoying Adam Cole's reign as TNT champion. I thought when he won it that maybe he could do something good with it because Adam Cole finally won a singles title in AEW. But it has not been good, and I can see Kyle Fletcher winning the title here. I think he should. The TNT title as a whole has just it hasn't had good reigns really. Um, and yeah, I can't really think of many good reigns this TNT title has had. It's just been very dead, and it seems like at times AEW has forgotten that they have the TNT Championship. Um, so yeah, I'm going with Kyle Fletcher to win this, and I would like to see Kyle hold it on Dynamite every week and show up on Dynamite every week and like defend it constantly. And I think Kyle Fletcher would hold that very well. He's very talented. He's still young. He's got a lot of potential. And I think if there's someone who can do things with that title, if booked correctly, it is Kyle Fletcher. And I had faith in Adam Cole, but unfortunately, and I don't know if it's just me, but I have not enjoyed the reign of Adam Cole. And I think the title changes hands here.
Yeah, once again, I agree. This is probably going to be like this across the entire entire match card. But yeah, same. It's not been my favorite reign, and as you said, there's not been a maze of like that many great ones. I think like Christian's one was decent, Brody Lee's was decent, but nothing like as you said, groundbreaking. Um, but yeah, I think they see Kyle as a future of the company. Someone who could easily eventually go on to become their top guy. And I think it starts here. Give him the TNT Championship, let him actually do something with it, let him have matches, as you said, in Dynamite, and then just keep building up. The guy's not just incredible in the ring, he's sadistic, he's evil, he's horrible, and that's what makes him fantastic. So, yeah, again, a match I'm very much looking forward to, but I'm also going to take Kyle Fletcher here.
And Adam Cole is just in a tough spot. Like he leaves WWE to join AEW, doesn't really get much. He gets a cool feud with MJF, and that is probably the best thing he has done in AEW. And he's done quite a few things in AEW, quite a few feuds, but that was really the only thing that stood out was his feud with MJF. And I have no idea what happens to Adam Cole from here. Do like they go after the trios titles? This Paragon go after the trios titles? I have no clue, and I have no clue what they plan on doing with Adam Cole going forward. But yeah, we talked about booking someone into a corner. I think Adam Cole is about to be, or if not already, booked into a corner.
Yeah, it's a shame because I understand why Adam Cole left WWE, especially at the time with obviously Vince still being in charge, and I think he would have struggled. But I mean, he's one of Triple H's guys. Like Triple H loved him. So would he do better now in WWE? Quite potentially, but you never know. But yeah, it's kind of a shame, as you said, what's happened like on AEW. Like he's just not really hit those heights, and I think part of it, and it sounds bad to say, and I think this actually goes for all three guys, so him, Kyle, and Roddy, is the Undisputed Era was fantastic. It was so cool, but I think it's not really worked out with NXT, and I think the three guys should just go off and just do their own thing because they're all amazing in their own right.
Yep.
And I think, as you said, like almost like them being still attached to this trio is kind of holding them down a little bit.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I can definitely see that. And like Roddy can still go. This is a guy who's a former Ring of Honor world champion, and he can still go. Kyle O'Reilly, I always felt was the most underrated in that group. I feel like he never got the respect and the attention that he deserved throughout the Undisputed Era, but Kyle O'Reilly is really good. And yeah, like you said, all these guys can hold their own if they had a singles run. And yeah, I didn't even really think of that. This trio might be holding them back. And when they were the Undisputed Era, like you said, they were perfectly fine. But the booking here is like um it doesn't even feel like they're actually a trio. It just feels like
No.
O'Reilly and Strong are the tag team, and Adam Cole is just their friend that backs them up when they need it.
Yeah. Okay. And that's fine. And that's what the Undisputed Era was in NXT. But they were booked on NXT. They were booked at the top, so you knew who Undisputed Era was. You knew who Adam Cole was. You knew who Kyle O'Reilly was. God, you even knew who Bobby Fish was.
Yep.
But as you said, in the paradigm, however you say it, when you've got the main champion, the main guy, if you want it, Adam Cole, he's what you've got the AEW World Championship, then you've got probably an equal ground, but still two and three, the Intercontinental and whatever the other one's called again, I can't remember now. The what's it called again? The International Champion.
Yeah,
So
international.
you've got the Continental and International. Yeah, you've got the two of them. So Adam Cole's like the fourth tier singles champion. Um, which so like it's kind of an element of like not that why should I Kale because as we've just said, like I think Kyle, not Kyle, sorry, Kyle Fletcher could be amazing with the TNT Championship, but Adam Cole should be at that higher level. Like there was such a remember his debut. He came out, he joined up with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, and it was in the same segment as like the Brian Danielson debut. Like it looked like he was going to be a major player. Then we had, as you mentioned, the MGF story, which was big for the time, and unfortunately, obviously, Adam Cole got injured at probably the worst possible time.
Yeah,
Um, but from there, he's just fallen so far down the card, and it sucks to see.
yeah. Um, so that's the TNT Championship match. Um, next we have the a three-way tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. It's the Hurt Syndicate defending against JetSpeed, Kevin Knight, and Speedball Mike Bailey, and the Patriarchy, Christian Cage, and Nick Wayne. Um, so this is interesting because I can see a world where Christian and Nick Wayne potentially win. I don't think that would be the best idea because Nick Wayne is holding the Ring of Honor title. Um, and I'm honestly probably just going to go with what I think is going to happen, which is the Hurt Syndicate retaining. And I could see them like pinning. I could see a scenario where the Lashley or Benjamin pins Christian Cage, and Nick Wayne blames Christian for losing and losing the opportunity, or vice versa. They pin Nick Wayne, and Christian Cage is like, "Well, you lost this opportunity. You got pinned." I could see that happening. So I think I am going to go with the Hurt Syndicate retaining. I am still iffy about it. But that's where I'm leaning more towards.
Yep. Well, this is going to be once again a very boring predictions, but I literally 100% agree with everything you said. On paper, the Hot Syndicate should win with not much hassle. I think it should be pretty easy, and they should get a win. JetSpeed, very cool team, not winning. And the only thing, as you said, that I could see Christian Cage and Nick Wayne winning is because of that news about the weird father and son tag team titles that they wanted to do.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could see them doing, but I also don't want it and don't think that's sensible. So I once again agree. I'm going to take the Hot Syndicate. I think I think that should be fairly straightforward, but it might not be.
Yeah. Um, yeah, no, like we AEW has a thing where they do like they swerve us sometimes. No pun intended. They swerve us sometimes. Um, with like these matches, like we think it's predictable, and then someone else wins out of nowhere. Which is good. Because like having a show that's predictable is not a good thing. But I think it would make the most sense for the Hurt Syndicate to retain. I just don't see um Jet Speed bringing that same value to those tag team titles. And like you said, the only thing would be the father and son thing for Christian and Nick Wayne, and even that I just don't see being a great idea.
Yep, totally agree. It's very, very boring, but I agree.
um, so let's move on to the men's casino gauntlet match. Um, so Mark Briscoe is the number one entrant, and MJF is the number two entrant, and we don't know the rest. However, I'm going to make a prediction, and I don't know what you have for this match, and I'll pass it over to you afterwards, as always. Um, I think this is a case, and this is going to the like the AEW World Championship match that we have later on. Spoiler alert: I think Moxley is going to retain. Um, so
Ooh,
I think that we get a Darby Allin return. I
okay.
think Darby Allin returns in this match and wins the gauntlet because I've been saying for months that I believe that there's having Moxley hold this title until Darby Allin comes back and dethrones him. And I think that could happen here. Now, if Darby Allin doesn't return, I can see a world where um Moxley loses the title and MJF wins this match. Um, but I'm going with a more likely option of Darby Allin making a return and winning this.
I love it. I love the boldness of it. To go. What's funny as well is you literally said right there at the end my exact reason for who I'm going for. So I am going to take MGF, which is very boring because I guess spoiler. Think the opposite of the main event. But I think this match, and this is maybe part of the issue with booking a match like this, or at least with the stipulation it has, is it sometimes can kind of make the main event slightly predictable. So pretty much what you said about Darby Allin and John Moxley is my exact thought if Darby Allin returns. If Darby Allin is in this match, he is winning it and Moxley's retaining. I'm 100% on that.
Yeah.
Um, if he isn't, I think it's going to be MGF, which is very boring. But I mean, he could have maybe like I don't know Mark Briscoe. Is Ricky? What's Ricochet doing? Is he in this? I don't.
He could be.
I
They
don't
haven't
remember.
announced the rest of the participants.
Okay, so you could have someone like that going up against like Hangman, maybe Mark Briscoe a bit less so. But I think MGF, and then they'll run back the MGF Hangman feud. Maybe with MGF having also the Hot Syndicate by his side this time. The only thing in that the only reason that I've not gone for Derby, and again, this could be completely like speculation, or they're just trying to like work, was apparently Derby when he came back from Everest wasn't 100%, But for Darby Allin, like him not being 100% means he could have like lost a leg or something. The guy's a maniac.
Yeah,
So, um, he's the guy's credit. That's the only thing that makes me think maybe he's not quite ready to return. But if he is and if he's in this match, obviously, unfortunately, I can't change my prediction mid match. But if I could, I would change it to Darby Allin
yeah. I mean,
and
Darby Allin
going
is a
MJF.
guy. Darby Allin's a guy who got hit by a car and wrestled the same day. Um, which is insane. Like even when I was wrestling,
That
I could not do that. Like I don't know how
one
he
of
does the things that he does. Um,
no clue. That's
but
like one of the first like clips that I showed my girlfriend when I was kind of not just when I was like watching wrestling, but there's one of the ones I was like, you have to watch this. It's him doing the coffin, oh not the coffin drop, him doing the getting tipped off the ladder, going through the pane of glass.
oh
I don't know if you
yeah,
remember that one. And he's got the cuts on. That I remember showing her that, and she was like, "What the is this thing that you watch?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
yeah. Yeah, no, my sister is still traumatized by watching AEW with me from the pizza cutter moment. Um,
Oh, oh,
yeah,
I hate pizza cutters in wrestling matches.
yeah. And then they showed Domino's commercial right after.
Oh, really? See, like
Yeah.
any utensil, by the way, I hate. Like in wrestling, like pizza cutters or cheese graters, get them
Oh,
out the way. Wrestling.
yeah.
Horrible.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know why. But yeah, I do think that Darby Allin could return. But like you said, I think it's very possible that MJF could win this match and Hangman wins the main event. And we might as well talk about the main event and then we'll cover the rest of the card. Um,
Yeah, why not?
so yeah, so I do think John Moxley is retaining. That's where I'm leaning more towards. Hell, it even could be a case where um they have another babyface win it other than Darby Allin and keep it on Moxley because they seem to really want to keep that on Moxley, and but it is a very high possibility that Hangman Adam Page could win. Um, this is a Texas death match for the AEW World Championship, by the way, um, which makes sense. I was expecting them to do this stipulation. I think it would be stupid if they didn't do the stipulation for them. Um, hopefully no pizza cutters or cheese graters in this one, but it's John Moxley and Hangman, so who
Yeah.
knows? Um, I think that this could easily be one of the most entertaining, or if not the most entertaining match of the night. And yeah, I am going to stick with the prediction of John Moxley retaining, although I wouldn't be surprised if Hangman won.
Yeah, I mean, literally everything you just said, also we spoke about it, is I agree with, and I think the exact same, just on the opposite side of the fact that I said if Darby is in it, I think there's a high possibility that Moxley will retain. The only reason I've gone for Hangman, not just because of the whole like I said, the whole Darby situation, I've went from because firstly just out of like hope that we can finally put an end to the Death Rider storyline. As I said in many other things, I am a massive John Moxley, Dean Ambrose fan. He is my guy. He's the one that got me back into wrestling, and I will never ever turn my back on him for that. But I'll be the first one to tell you that I hated this title reign, as many people. So I'm partially going for Hangman just out of hope, but also because I think the story there is in the end Swerve. That's the reason why it's a Texas Death Match as well, because obviously Hangman already knows that there'll be interference from the Death Riders. But I think he'll have his own interference, and it will be having Swerve, also probably with Osprey as well. But I think the closing shot will be Swerve finally putting a stopper to the Death Riders. Hangman hitting, I don't know, the buckshot on Moxley and pinning him and becoming the new AEW World Champion. And it's Swerve that's helped Hangman. I think that's the story they want to tell. And if it's a feud they want to revisit down the road, I'll go for it. I mean, it was incredible the first time around. So that's part of the reason I can just get that image, almost like kind of a la Cody Rhodes from WrestleMania 40. You can imagine like all the baby faces finally coming out, lifting up Hangman, and it's Swerve that's like underneath him, lifting him up. I can can just kind of picture it. That's part of the reason why I've gone for it.
Yeah. No, I definitely do see something like that happening. And I think it was you or Stu
Yeah,
that brought it up. Like it could literally resemble the WrestleMania 40 main event with like the
yeah,
whole Avengers Assemble kind of thing.
yeah.
Um so yeah, that very well could happen. So that's a world title match. Got that out of the way. Um we have the women's casino gauntlet match as well. Now, the only person I know that's in this is Chris Statlander, like officially, and I could very well see her winning, or I could see someone like Athena winning because um spoiler alert again, I think Mercedes is winning the title. Um so I think that we still need the Athena and Mercedes match. And I think if Athena were to win this, it would be a good call for her to win this and finally do something more AEW related than Ring of Honor. And yeah, I could definitely see Athena winning this. I don't fully know who I'm picking for this. But I'm going between Athena and Chris Statlander, leaning a little more towards Athena.
So what I've learned so far is that maybe AEW is actually a bit more predictable than I expected. Because once again, I agree with everything you said, and it's exactly what I thought. It's generally sorry, they're very boring predictions, but it is. If Athena isn't in the match, sorry, I think it will be Chris Statlander. I'm cool with them to run back Mercedes Chris Statlander again. Spoiler: I also think Mercedes is going to win. Um, so I would be quite happy with them running that back. They had an incredible match. So I'd be quite happy to see it. But I also agree I would want to see Athena and Mercedes more. If Athena is in the match, I think it's going to be hot, and I'll take Athena to give a definitive guess. I will take Athena. Um, and yeah, we move on, get her on Mercedes finally, and as you said, it would be good to actually get Athena on AEW because at the end of the day, with Mercedes, kind of goes on to the whilst we're here, should we just do Mercedes and Tony Thomas
Yeah,
at the same
might as
time?
well. Yeah.
May as well. Yeah, so as I said, I think Mercedes is gonna win that. Also Tony Storm's been incredible as a champion once again, but I think it's Mercedes taking it and continuing the belt collector thing. But part of being the belt collector is you have to lose them at some point. So it would be cool to see, or maybe not right away, um, lose it to Athena, but it'd be good maybe to have Athena as like her first challenger. Maybe she doesn't quite do it there, but down the line it could eventually we do go full circle and we have Athena eventually topple Mercedes, something like that. But yeah, kind of in two parts here. Yeah, I'll take Athena to win the battle royal, and yeah, I'm taking Mercedes to win against Tony Storm.
Yeah. See that's exactly what I was thinking. With her holding all the titles, because what happens to the TBS championship? And how do they get around that?
Exactly.
And how do they book it smartly where she can lose the TBS championship without looking weak? Um yeah, it's very weird with the whole thing. And like you said, she has to lose all this eventually, and she obviously will.
Yep.
And I think she's probably going to drop that TBS title pretty soon after she wins this AEW Women's World title. And to who? I have no idea. Um, but I can definitely see her dropping it. But yeah, they have to find a way to make it make sense.
Yeah, that's it. This is the thing. Like, I'm not the biggest fan, and this isn't a Mercedes thing. As I'm seeing some folk online saying that, oh, if you don't like this, then whatever. But it's like I'm not the biggest fan of like the belt collector gimmick. Not because I don't like the gimmick. It's just so hard to book it and make it make sense. Like you said, like the TBS Championship. Once Mercedes wins the top one, it makes it null and void. There's no point in it. Um, so she has to lose it, and then it's like if she loses it to let's say Chris Statlander doesn't win this match, let's say that, and she loses the TBS to Chris Statlander, could then Statlander not be like, oh well, then I should get a shot at the top title or whatever? So it makes it very hard to book. But I agree. I would love to see her, drop it to someone like Athena or Chris down the line. I think are quite good. I don't know if she is bound for AEW or not. Obviously, she is now free to work wherever. I think for the TBS Championship, it'd be quite cool if they had interest in Elena Black to bring her in and do Mercedes and Elena was to win the TBS Championship there. I think that would be quite cool. But yeah, as you said, I'm intrigued to see where it goes. But yeah, I think Mercedes is going to have a lot of belts on her after all in.
Yeah. Yeah, Elena and Mercedes would be interesting. I don't fully know if Elena would go back to AEW. Um, because yeah, I just don't know. I think she would probably fit in, and she'd probably be pushed to like a TBS championship match and win that title. Um, but I don't know. Based on what I've seen, and like she's wrestling at a show that I am covering, an independent show next month. Um, here like just an hour away from me. Um, so she looks like she's having fun on the independents, and eventually she is going to sign somewhere. It would be criminal for no place to sign her. She definitely deserves to be signed, and if that's AEW, maybe. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, yeah, it's up to her, and a lot of the talents you see it with the likes of Matt Cardona and all that. They're quite happy being on the Indies and saying that though. If you've seen the Cody Rhodes Kevin Owens episode of his podcast, where he's like, for a guy who calls himself the king of the Indies, he spends a long time complaining about he's not back in WWE, which is a
Yeah,
great line. But yeah, like that's the thing. If you're happy in the Indies, then absolutely fair play to it and just keep going at it. Like yeah, as you said, I don't know if they would have the interest, and I think the interest would be there from them, but whether or not she wants to go, totally up to her.
yeah,
But yeah, but it just comes down to I don't know who could possibly beat Mercedes, and I think they just kind of book themselves into a bit of an awkward corner by doing the belt collector gimmick. But I think that's obviously the way they're going, and I think she'll add the AEW Women's Championship to that as well.
yeah. All right. Well, I am gonna start a new meeting, because we have 5 minutes left in this one. So I will
Yep.
be right back. All right, we are back. So yeah, we were talking about Tony Storm and Mercedes. We're both in agreement that Mercedes will, I was about to say retain. She has too many titles. Going to win the women's world title. Um, so the last match we have to talk about is the winner take all match for the AEW Unified Championship. Disgusting name, by the way. I hate it. I hate it. Between Kazuchika Okada, who is the Continental Champion, and Kenny Omega, who is the International Champion. Yeah, that's correct, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I hate this unified title name. And so when they first came out with this winner take all thing, I was thinking, okay, international, continental, they'll go with the Intercontinental Championship. Um, they went with an even worse name in the AEW Unified Championship. Um, I don't like it. I never will. And hopefully, like, eventually Tony Khan just changes the name and just realizes it's bad. Um, but that's what it's called, and that's what they're fighting for here. Um, this is going to be a good match. Now, I wrote on my website that uh, fans should keep their expectations realistic because their last match in New Japan was years ago, and that was like I said years ago, and that was a fantastic match. I don't know if they can keep up to par with that or let alone surpass it. It's still going to be a great match. And if we're being realistic and kayfabe here, all Kazuchika Okada has to do is just hit Kenny Omega in the stomach and then hit a Rainmaker and the match is over. But that's not what's gonna happen. Um, Now, either or, I could see either one of these guys winning. I'm going to lean towards Kenny Omega winning this. Um, I just think that they want to put this title on him, and you can make a great argument for both guys winning this. And if you were to say Kazuchika Okada were to win, I'd say oh, I can definitely see that happening. Um, it's really just a flip a coin kind of match.
Yep. One's I just find it really funny because you're literally saying the things that I'm about to say. Flipping a
Oh,
coin is exactly it. Because I have no idea. And two, because so many of these have just been like literally everything you've said. Not one thing I've been like, no, I don't agree with that. Every single thing I agree with.
yeah,
So I'll take Okada just to be different, literally because I don't know. And as you said, it could easily go to either of these guys. So I'll take Okada just because you've gone for Kenny, and we'll go that way. But I agree though with what you said. I think though it'll be interesting to have a look at wrestling Twitter, particularly after this match, because I agree. Like you said, the last match was in like what 2019, 2018 maybe,
yeah,
um, around then.
around there, yeah,
So yeah, so I agree. I like the fact is that what I still find really funny is they won't be able to put on another like 7-star classic. But the fact is they'll put on like a 5-star, a genuine 5-star or 5.5-star classic, and people will still be disappointed because they'll be like, "Oh, was it as good as that one though?" Which is so stupid, and that's why Dave Meltzer's star ratings are also stupid.
yeah.
But
Fuck Dave Meltzer.
yeah, so
Sorry.
I don't exactly. Oh, there we go. Throwing it right now. They are stupid though. They're like they can be completely nonsensical. His star ratings.
Yeah.
They are.
Um.
But yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I just throw away my monetization, but that's okay.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Um. But yeah. In agreement for most of these things. Obviously, Root took Hangman to win, but like we're still in agreement with um both things. Like if Darby would have returned, then we could see
Yep.
Moxley winning. Um, but yeah, a pretty solid card. And if you are somebody who enjoys just in ring wrestling, this is the pay per view for you. And this is the point I was going to bring up earlier. The other three pay per views that we have, Evolution, Great American Bash, and Saturday Night's Main Event, none of those realistically compared to this card. This is AEW's WrestleMania. And if like I'm going to have to cover all of the shows this weekend, and if like Okada and Omega are on at the same time as like say, um, shit, I don't even know, what's like a
It's
match that
on June Great American Bash. I know it's on June then. So who could you take?
yeah.
Uh,
Either way, people are going to be more
I
invested in
lifted the
Roman.
prediction. Yeah, absolutely. I've done many videos. I did quite this week, but I've done quite a few videos on that. And this is what the thing I find mental is they've tried to, and you can see straight away what they've done. They've tried to counter program through quantity over quality straight away because originally it was going to be Saturday night's main event. Had Goldberg's retirement, you've got big matches like LA Knight and Seth Rollins, but then also AEW changed the start time to earlier. So then WWE be like, oh no, okay, let's put on Great American Bash. And it's like, no offense to the NXT guys, they'll put on a great show. They always do. It's just not All In. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
like it's not. So I will be watching All In, and then the next day I will watch Great American Bash because I think if All In is set to go from what I've seen about 5 hours, and it starts at
jeez.
8 p.m. over here, so 5 hours will take it to 1 a.m. and that's when Saturday night's main event's meant to start. Over here as well. So you can watch All In and Saturday night's main event back to back. The only one that's actually counter programming is Great American Bash. And again, with all due respect to the guys and girls of NXT, they're not. It's not All In. I will be watching All In. Like I'm not. I just I'm not skipping it over Kazuchika Okada and Kenny Omega. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, yeah, 100%. And I think a lot of other people will feel the same exact way. Um, And like even if this were going toe to toe with Saturday night's main event, I'm sorry, but if um like Okada and Omega are on at the same time as Gunther and Goldberg, it's no question which match I'm paying more attention to. So yeah, it's I don't know why WWE decided to do this, and you definitely know that WWE did this intentionally.
Oh, 100%. Especially with it being Saturday night's main event. Like, you use the exact perfect match and like the Gunther Goldberg match, which is actually a match that I'm like kind of more. I'm not know if I want to say I'm excited to see it. I'm just really intrigued to see what they do. But because it's Saturday night's main event, there's only going to be about 2 minutes of in-ring action. Like, we'll see more advert breaks than we will the actual in-ring stuff. And you're telling me you want me to watch that over, as you said, Kazuchika Okada, Omega, or Swerve and Osprey versus the Bucks. Like, like if they were trying to counter program it with like, I know I don't agree with this at all. Like what I am saying here, I still think it's really pathetic and quite scummy. But if they like moved forward SummerSlam and were like, okay, SummerSlam's on the same night, okay, then yes, we have a bit of a struggle. But Saturday night's main event in NXT Great American Bash, I'm sorry, it's a no-brainer on what I'm watching.
Yeah, 100%. Um, yeah, I'm in total agreement with that. But yeah, that is our AEW All In predictions. Like I said, the first of many. I will reach out to you and Stu when I do the Great American Bash predictions because I think that's what I'm going to do next. Um, it's
Okay.
probably going to be like tomorrow, early tomorrow or something like that, or early for me at least. Um, but yeah, so yeah, I will let you know, and yeah, and whenever it's out, you guys will see it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about AEW All In and what your predictions are. If you agree or disagree with anything, let me know in the comments on YouTube or Spotify. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. Hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, podcasts, and interviews. Subscribe to the Ko-Fi page. It's $5 minimum to subscribe to the exclusive wrestling content tier. Check out my WWE shop link. Actually, don't because I don't think it's working anymore. Um, so don't do that. Um, but yeah, go subscribe to the Ko-Fi page and follow me on Spotify. And yeah, go follow Ruin Wrestling on TikTok. Go follow Stu World Order as well on all his social medias. He's usually here with us. And hopefully he can be able to join us for the next set of predictions that we do. But I've been your host,
Yeah.
Josh, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take it easy.